Hello, my name is Amber and welcome to my creative space. As of the last video, as you can see, I'm in a different creative space, which is a room at my mother-in-law's house. And this video is kind of a combination of a December update and also a channel announcement. So, we are officially in a transition in our life. Our world has shifted. We are now officially starting the process of moving in permanently with my mother-in-law. And as a result of that, I have to reconsider all of my commitments and all of my previous patterns of life for the time being to allow room for this transition to take place. In all honesty, I've been having a lot of anxiety and a lot of physical challenges with this change. Everywhere I look, there's decisions to make and there's choices to work through and a lot of mental and physical demands at this time. The good thing is it's not really an emergency. It's just a matter of recognizing it's that time that we foresee her needing our help more and more in the coming years, and it's just a good time to start making that transition. At the same time, it's not something that we can just be at home and plan and make the transition. She needs our help enough to be here and make that transition, which makes it more challenging because this is going to be our room, but it's currently full of her things. So it's going to be a long, drawn out process that we have to take step by step. And in considering all of my commitments, obviously, one of those commitments is YouTube and my desire to share my creativity and my journey on creating things with the world and with you. So upon reflection, I've decided I don't want to lose the channel and stop the channel. I want to continue it, but it needs to be at a pace that I can manage. And it needs to be in a way that isn't demanding for me to do things in order to make the videos. It's not placing a demand on me. How can I say this? The pacing and content of the channel needs to be in such a way that I can just share what's happening in my life and bring you along on the journey rather than placing a demand on me to do certain things in order to make videos. So, for the foreseeable future, I'm going to change to a once a month posting and just do a monthly recap on the things that I've gotten up to that have been creative that month. And then that's a matter of I can go about our journey, go about our life, being creative as I normally am, whereas I'm able in this transition time, and then just keep a log of it and share it with you and share the pieces that I've completed or I'm working on. So it truly is just bringing you along and including you in the process. So that being said, we can talk about December. And in December, I don't have the things with me. Some things are still at the other house. But I did complete that blue scarf I was working on as a gift. It was completed on time and I gave it to her as a gift and she enjoyed it. So that's wonderful. In terms of crochet, the only other thing I was working on was a bag. It was going to be a largish tote bag to maybe carry Toby around in, a Yorkie bag. I completed it and it didn't really function properly. The bottom was really saggy and it didn't quite work right. So before we came here, I was trying to troubleshoot the base of it to give him a more firm footing so he would be supported within the bag. And West had cut me a piece of wood to maybe wrap in fabric or crochet something around it to place in the bottom of the bag. And I said wood. It's a very, very thin piece of like plywood sheeting kind of material. So that project is at home and it's just waiting until I get around to working on it again. Who knows when that's going to happen. and I hadn't started any new crochet projects. So crochet is kind of like on a hold and just waiting for me. For Christmas, I got several, I want to say 6 different embroidery projects, which I'm really excited about because that's small, it's contained, I can fit it in a nice little carry bag, and I have only done one formal embroidery project. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and so I'm really looking forward to learning new stitches. But that kind of work, because I'm actively learning, takes a certain brain space, which I don't have at the moment. I don't have the ability to sit there and actively learn something. Hands-on learning. That being said, for Christmas, I also got a starter kit to learn how to jelly plate print. I've never done any sort of printing before, and so I have been watching lots of introductory videos about how to do jelly plate printing and all the techniques you can use. So I am passively learning that, but I haven't brought that kit over and started working with it. That takes space and time, and I don't have that at the moment. So what I have been doing this time period for December is I got these 2 books full of prompts for painting and drawing, and they have been a lifesaver. I don't know if I've done this one yet, but I have been actively grabbing for this. I also got a kit of Arctic's paint markers, and so if you go to the little index here, all of the colored squares are pages that I have completed, and it's basically been in the month of December and the beginning of January. So most evenings I pull this out and flip through the book and say what inspires me, and I work on a page. I can show you, maybe, if I can find it. Here is one I worked on last night. They gave me an outline of waves, and I colored the waves in, and that was very relaxing, and it helped me work on some pin brush control, brush tip stuff. So this has been coming in handy so far. And for December, I did complete my 4 individual paintings, my little paintings. And when I went home last, I did grab a stack of cards for the coming month so I can continue working on that project because that's small and portable and easy. So I figure in this video, we can visit the 4 paintings I did finish for December. So these first 2 paintings were both done on 12/11, and there's this one. And I was trying to paint what my anxiety felt like, which was the big boulder, the heavy boulder, pressing down. And then I painted the background, and it became kind of a sunset through a valley that the rock just needs to be moved out of the way and we can proceed forward. I don't know. I'm not trying to read too much into it. It was just a painting exercise. And this was with, I believe this was with some watercolor pencils. I can't remember exactly, but I think that's what it was. And then I did a more seasonal one. And we have branches with some little lights on it and a windy space behind it and sparkles. And that was enjoyable. And I believe once again that was watercolor pencil. So that was on 12/11. And then on 12/29, I did these 2. I was exploring what Arctic's markers could do and how to use them. And so this is a little happy sunset. And I can definitely feel the paint layering some as I put the markers down. I learned very quickly that you don't necessarily blend with these colors. And it definitely has a matte finish. Of course, I am using them on watercolor paper, which is extremely absorbent, so I'm sure it might behave differently if I'm using it on multimedia or less thirsty paper. So this is painting number 3. And painting number 4, I was trying to do a wave shape, which is kind of funny from just showing you that picture in that journal. They have much happier shaped waves, but that was me playing around with colors and shapes and just going at it. So this is painting number 4 for December. So theoretically, that brings me up to number 58 in my painting series out of 100. So I don't think it's a coincidence that I've been painting waves recently, because things are turbulent and things are in flux and changing. And, I'm not surprised that art reflects my daily life and what I'm working through. So like I said, I want to continue with this channel. The pacing needs to change to fit my current life. And I completely foresee having a different schedule once we get settled and once we work through all the moving decisions. But I honestly don't know how long it's going to take. It could take weeks, but more than likely it'll take months, because we're working at the pace of people's lives and energy levels and abilities. And, I'm not in charge of this process. I'm just one of the people on it and in it. So we'll just have to work through it one step at a time. And for me, creativity is one of those places where I can pretty reliably connect to my emotions and get in a flow state and find rest and relaxation and peace when I'm creating. So it's going to be very important during this time when we're working on setting up our room and designing our room and everything. It's very important that there's places of calm and peace that I can retreat to and be creative. So I definitely see further content coming down the line. But at this point, I'm committing to once a month because of everything else going on in our life and the ability to sit down, talk to you, find time to edit, all that fun stuff. But I foresee posting more things as I'm able and as we have time and space. But at the moment, for January, my main commitment is 4 more paintings, and we'll see what else I get up to. Like I said, my capacity and my bandwidth is overflowing full, and I'm taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, sometimes one moment at a time, and trying to give myself grace and remind myself that there is no timeline for all of this to happen in. There's no deadline. It's just start the process, start walking through each step, and start creating our life together. So I hope you stick with me and join me on this slower pace of YouTube as I'm checking in with you once a month. And I encourage you to move at your own pace in your own life and include creativity as a safe place, a peaceful place, a place to unwind and process the things going on in your life. So until next time, feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.